Today we're going to be looking at parenting, but I just want to pick a few C's. You know, there are so many C's, the letter C. There are so many C's that, people talk about when it comes to parenting. So I'm just going to, I'm going to mention a few and just discuss, some of these C's that, we come about when we're parenting. The first one I want to talk about is consistency. As a parent, are you consistent? Maybe with your rules, your expectations, your credibility. Do you follow through, with your children? When you say, this is what I am going to do you follow through? Or do you, waver from one thing to another and you're not being consistent? Now, children thrive where there is routine and stability. Not one day you're up, another day you're down. So we need consistency as parents. Another C, and this is not in any particular order, another C that we need is being calm when we're parenting. Are we calm? Are we calm parents? Or are we all over the place? Can we control our anger? Because we do get angry from time to time. Can we control our anger? Are we calm? Now, when you're a calm parent, this is what it does. It helps the children to feel secure because they know that you're not going to be irrational. Whatever the case may be, my mom can manage her emotions. My dad can manage his emotions. So I want you to think about it. Are you calm as a parent? When you're calm as a parent, it helps to build your children's confidence. Are you calm? Another one, another of these C's in parenting is the aspect of counseling. Are you a good counselor? Can you counsel your children? Are you able to tell them what is right from what is wrong? You need wisdom for that. You need wisdom to be able to counsel and to counsel right so that your children don't fall into the trap of living a lie or growing up in error. So I hope you are praying for wisdom as a parent. Now, another one, and this one for me is very important. Not that the others are not important, but you'll see why I said this one for me is important. Is connection. Do you have a connection with your children? Do you have a connection? Now, it might sound like, what sort of question is that? What do you mean, do I have a connection with my children? It will amaze you how many mothers or how many parents are not connected to their children. Everyone runs their own show. We come together when we have to come together. Other than that, please stay on your own and I'll stay on my own. What do I mean by you staying on your own? You're downstairs. Your children are forever in their bedroom. Your living room is not a social space. It's for guests. When your living room becomes that place that only guests sit, you don't sit there as a family. Ask yourself, do I have a connection with my children? Now, connection, what connection does is it forms and maintains positive, that link. It's the glue, as it were, that holds the family together. You're able to quickly tell when your child is unhappy. You're able to quickly tell when there's something not well with your child or your children. There has to be that connection. Now, another thing that connection does, it brings about commitment. That pledge that you're always going to be available. When there's a connection, you want to be available for your child or your children. So the question I'm asking you this morning again is there a connection? Or has everyone gone their own different ways? You might all live under the same roof, but you're all doing your own thing. Please go back and let there be a connection. As a parent, another C is comfort. The world out there is wicked. The world out there is terrible. Can your children know you as, I know that once I get home and I explain everything to my parents, I will receive comfort? Or is it going to be a case of, by the time they bring the matter to you, you just make it even more complicated? No. One of the C's is that we must, as as parents, be able to provide comfort for our children. Comfort can come in different forms and shapes and sizes. But the most important thing is that you're providing comfort for your children. Another one, and I'm going to say another one that is very important, but like I've told you, these are not in any particular order. Another one is communication. How can we talk about parenting and not talk about communication? Communication is key. It links with that connection because when you're connected, you communicate. But I do hope that the communication is positive. I do hope that the communication is enlightening. I do hope that the communication is encouraging. Because you can say, I communicate. But it's not just that you're communicating. It is how you're communicating. What are the things you're saying? Think about that. Very good communication builds strong, healthy relationships. And this is not just between spouses. This is not just between adults. It's also with our children. Can you talk to your child? Or has it got to the point now that your child doesn't even want to listen to you anymore? Why? Because you haven't been communicating properly. If that is where you are, you better ask God to help you restore communication in your family. So communication is very, very important. Now, another one that I will talk about would be choices. As parents, what choices are you giving your children? Are you giving them age-appropriate choices? Or are you letting them make choices that they are not matured enough to handle? Say, for example, an age-appropriate choice. What do you want to wear today? Do you want to wear, maybe do you want to wear jeans or do you want to wear a skirt? I'm talking about a girl child. Do you want to wear shorts? Those are choices that they can make. Oh, no, I want to wear my leggings and my top. Those are choices they can make. It's not that you go to the shop and you're saying, okay, which one of these trainers do you want? And your child that doesn't know the value of money is pointing at something and you're thinking, I can't afford that. You knew you couldn't afford it. Why were you giving them that choice? So make sure when you're giving choices, give them age-appropriate choices. The choice you give a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old is not a choice, is not the same that you will give to, maybe a teenager, maybe a young adult. The choices are different. They've got to be age appropriate. So another C in this parenting are the choices that we give our children, the choices we make available. Because very, very close to choices are consequences. So if you don't help them make the right choice, they will suffer the consequences unfairly. But we can help them make the right choice so that even when there are consequences, the consequences align with the choices that they have made. So let's talk about consequences. Consequences, again, should be age appropriate. If you tidy up your room, you can then watch TV. If you don't tidy up your room, you will not have TV time, or you won't go on your tablet or whatever it is. Is that what you're going to tell your 21-year-old child? No. So make sure it is age appropriate. Let them see what the consequences of this choice or these choices, let them see what they can be. Now, another thing I want to point out here is aim to teach rather than punish. So you haven't equipped them, you haven't empowered them, you haven't enabled them to make the right choices. Now you want to punish them with the consequences. How fair is that? So think about that. Help them make the right choices that would lead to the right consequences. I know we use consequences as you make a bad choice, then there are going to be consequences. You suffer your consequences. But when you make a right choice, the outcome is positive. So we can also help our children to make the right choices. Maybe your child is at the point now where they're writing exams. They want to, maybe they want to go to a particular school or they want to go to a particular university. You can help them make that choice. Don't leave them on their own. Can I talk about parenting and not talk about care? Showing love, showing support, empathy, listening well. This again helps to build confidence in our children. Listening well. Not, Mom, are you listening to me? I'm listening to you, but you're busy doing something else. You're busy doing something else. No, don't do that. If you cannot give that time right then, just say, okay, just give me a few minutes and I'll come and I'll give you my full attention. Would you like somebody to be talking to you, or would you like to be talking to somebody and the person is not giving you full attention? No, you wouldn't. You're like, can you hear me? Are you listening? You know how we say it. Are you listening? Sometimes the children cannot ask you, are you listening? But in their hearts, they're just wondering, are you actually listening to me? Or are you just doing something else? That shows how much you care. That shows how much you care. So please, another C is care. Okay? What about comfort? I've talked about comfort. So can you see, you can go online and read up about, the 4 C's, the 5 C's, but they are beyond that. We've talked about consistency. We've talked about being calm as a parent. We've talked about counseling. We've talked about providing connection. We've talked about providing comfort. What about communication? The consequences of our choices. We've talked about that as well. And I'll finish off with this, compassion. The more we show love, the more our children flourish. The more we show love, the more our children flourish. Do we have compassion? Do we have compassion, or do we just treat them as though we're in some kind of war together? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's remember that God has given these children to us. We are caretakers, and everything that is required for us to bring up these children in the way of the Lord, let's receive from God. If you're struggling in any way, in any form, in any shape, why not take it to the Lord in prayer? God, I'm not too sure what is going on. Is there something I should be doing to be able to help this child or to be able to help these children? Take it to God. And I pray that as you do so, we will all look back and say, thank God that we listened when God was speaking to us, especially in this area of parenting. God bless us all. In Jesus' name, amen.